Yo, I hope you're all doing very well and welcome back to Dan Escapes. Today's episode we're going to be going over the Domane AL2 and the upgrades I've made to this bike. It's not mine, it's my sister-in-law's bike and I've added new parts here and there, so I want to go over that and why this bike is such a great entry-level bike and a good investment for you as you get into cycling. But before I go over all the details, I'm going to have to wrap the bars first. So I'm going to see if I can actually do that, because I know it's quite tricky and fiddly. So the bar tape I'm going to wrap this with is the Super Kaz one. It's got the super sticky, so it means you get really good grip on it. But it's got some nice little star details. So this one's kind of the oil slick one. I was looking for the pink one, but it was completely sold out. So I managed to wrap the bar tape on this. Not the best job, it's not symmetrical on both sides, so I've actually done a better job on the left-handed side. And also there's a couple of gaps here, so yeah, not ideal, but it will do for now. So this is the Domane AL. So it's an aluminium bike from Trek. It's their endurance road bike. So a lot of people who are first getting into road riding, cycling, they tend to go for these bikes mainly because of the geometry. So it's a bit more upright. So you're sitting a bit further upright, and then also it's a lot more comfortable. So with the disc brake version, you've got wider tire clearance. So it comes with 32s. And a lot of people get concerned. They're like, oh, I need to go faster and have 28. No, ideally what you need to do is upgrade the tires if you want to go faster. So getting a lighter, more racy tire. And you can equally run the 32s and it will be just as fast as the 28s. I'll just say it's a lot more comfortable, and you're seeing that a lot in the roads cycling world. A lot more people are running wider tires. So why I really like the Domane is it's such a versatile bike. You've got rack mounts on the back, so if you wanted to do bike packing, you can do that. You can put full length mud guards as well, so you can turn this into a commuter bike. You've got extra mounting points. You've got mounting points up here and then mounting points underneath here. So you can run a second bottle cage and then add like a toolbox in that cage. And also you can mount a top tube bag here if you want to, if you don't want to have all the straps. And coming back to tire clearance, this bike is actually rated to take a 38mm tire. That's one thing I'd like them to improve on this bike, is running a wider tire clearance, maybe up to like a 45. That would have been ideal. That would have been perfect for this bike. But then you're teetering on the edge of a gravel bike. So even if it was just 40 or 42, that would have been great. But as an entry point road bike, you can turn this into a gravel bike, so you can see if you really like that type of riding just by switching out the tires. And I think that's what makes this bike so versatile and really good for beginners as well, but equally good for advanced riders. Maybe run a negative stem if you really want to get slammed. Then you can put good carbon wheels on here, good race tires as well. You can change the group set, and I'll get into more about that and what changes I made here. But yeah, let's get into this build of the Domane AL2 and the changes I've made to it. So one of the first changes I made was the gravel bars. This is now running the Bontrager GR Elites. They are 38 centimeters and they've got a nice wide flare on them. So if she does want to go into gravel later on, which I'm hoping to get her into so we can take her on some fun gravel rides, because we all know gravel is better than road. She has that stability when descending as well, so you've got that wider bars. I've also added the dual blender mount, and if you are buying any Trek bikes, it's worth adding these on to any of them, just because you can hold the Bontrager lights out front. Even if you get another light that's got a GoPro attachment, then just get these blender mounts here, and then also you can hold your cycle computer up front. And the best upgrade I made was switching out the tires, and this is what I recommend you all do if you want to have a better performance on your bike. I switched out from the Bontrager R1s and gone to the Pirelli Cinturato Velos. So it's a road puncture protection tire, and it's got really good grip in the wet and also very good puncture protection, and also still has a bit more performance. So if you were to get ultimate puncture protection, I'd say go with the Schwalbe Marathon Pluses. I'm running them on my commuter bike, and So far, touch wood, have never had a puncture on those. But these have slightly better puncture protection, still roll a bit faster than your normal tire, and also have a bit better grip in the wet. So that's why I've gone with these. If you want ultimate performance, you go with a lighter carcass tire, so something like the P0s. I know these ones, because they got the thicker carcass for puncture protection, that it does make the ride a little bit harsher. Obviously, you can combat that by setting up tubeless. Unfortunately, these Bontrager wheels are not tubeless ready, so you cannot do that. You'd have to upgrade the wheel. And that is also another big upgrade I would make to this bike, is running a carbon wheel, just to make it feel really nice and roll a bit faster. You know, you can either go with aerodynamics or lightweight. Lightweight will help with climbing, aero will help with being faster on the flats and going descents. That's always the best upgrade you can make, is tires and wheels for a bike. When it comes to disc brakes on these wheels, this has a 6-bolt. So unfortunately, I could not put the 105 discs that I had spare, because those are center lock and these are 6-bolt. So it does not work. So I'm still sticking with the Tektro ones that originally came with it, which are 160mm. Also, another cool thing about this bike, it comes with a carbon fork. It's quite nice on this black one, because you can see all the carbon build-up, layup up here, so it looks pretty cool actually. Also add in some nice little pink details here. It does come with these golden bolts, and I have been looking around on the internet and I've seen you can get some pink ones, so it'd be nice to update those. You've got 2 up here, and then 4 for the bottle cages. So I know Wolf Tooth do one. They're a bit pricey, but might be worth it to make it look a bit snazzy and match with all the pink. Maybe the oil slick for the Super Cas bar tape. Also, another change was the saddle. I know it came with a Verse short. Jenny felt comfortable on a wider saddle, so she's running a 165mm saddle, and she said it fits like a dream compared to the original one that came with it. This has also got a blender mount on the back to hold a Bontrager light. So the biggest upgrade I made to this bike would be the whole group set. So I've now gone and put my GRX 610 11-speed group set that was on my Checkpoint SL5 and put it on this bike. So it's running a 4630 tooth up front and then a 1134 in the back for cassette. So that means you're going to get some really nice easy gears for if you're climbing off-road. I know this is a gravel group set, so that's what it's designed to do. Good thing with the rear one is it's got a clutch, which is taken from their mountain bike derailleurs. So it means that if you're going over rough terrain, it won't jump around as much and it's quite locked in. The biggest upgrade, I say, with the group set, not only having those extra gears, so it's gone from a Claris 8-speed up to 11-speed, so it means you've got more gears in between. And then the biggest thing is the hydraulic disc brakes. And that's what I recommend if you are gonna buy a Domane AL, try and go with the hydraulic disc range version. So either the AL4, which comes with Tiagra, or the one that I recommend the most would be the AL5 if your budget can stretch to that, with the 105 12-speed, and that's got hydraulic disc brakes on that. Just makes such a big difference, and you're just going to get more performance out of them. And you know you're going to be safe when you're descending with those, especially if you're riding in the wet a lot. I can't rave enough about hydraulic disc brakes. I also had to update the bottom bracket to fit this group set in. The original one was a square tapered one. This bottom bracket now has the shells outside, meaning they're a bit further apart. You can run bigger bearings, which means they're longer lasting, I guess. The bolt goes all the way through, so it's built onto this crank arm, goes all the way through, and then the crank arm bolts onto the other side. They call it like a 3-piece set. The one I'm running in here is a Shimano XTR version, so from the mountain bike world. Doesn't spin as fast as the XD15 or ceramic speeds. It is very good, and it will last a long time, especially if you look after it, because these are from the mountain bike world and they're designed to take a lot of abuse. Another thing with the front derailleur, the original one had a clamp-on design. This one was designed to mount onto the frame, so the main frame had a mount for the front derailleur. So I've had to buy this M-part clamp that can allow this derailleur to fit on here. Also, the best thing about this bike is it comes with a UDH, a universal derailleur hanger, which is taken from the mountain bike world. And we're seeing a lot more bikes, especially in the gravel world, using this. And to be honest, I don't know how long until it will come over to road bikes, but the benefit of this, and I'm going to be talking jargon if you're new to biking and want to know about these Domane ALs, but you can run the SRAM transmission wireless axis. So the derailleur is then mounted directly onto the frame instead of having a hanger here. So the hanger is designed to break off, but with the transmission, it's so strong. Well, it's supposed to be very strong. They say it can clamp to the frame, and shifting, you know, I've tried it out on some mountain bikes and I really enjoyed riding with transmission. And that's the thing with this bike. If you do want to switch to a wireless system, you're going to have to go with SRAM's axis, because there's no real place to house the battery for Shimano. In my Monda, the battery is housed in the seat post, but from what I could see here, there's no place for it to come out the bottom bracket. And also the cables are exposed here. So this cable here for the rear derailleur is exposed, which I don't really like. And that's why SRAM would be perfect for these bikes. And, you know, that would be a massive dream build. You know, I'd love to get hold of one of these frames and just build it on the ground up, running some carbon wheels and then having a set that would switch out for gravel and road, and then running transmission in the back here. And that's the good thing with SRAM. You can have the wireless shifters up there and they pair well with the mountain bike derailleur, and have a massive dinner plate cassette on the back, and then run this one by. So if I could, money was no object, that's what I would do right now. I'd switch that up, and you know, it'd be interesting to see what that build would look like. And you know, I kind of really want to do that to this bike. So yeah, the Domane AL is a perfect bike to do so many different things within cycling. You can go bike packing with it, go gravel, like I mentioned all before, and even race on it if you wanted to. I think what's made it really cool is having these internal cable routing up here. I know I didn't mention this earlier, but instead of the cables coming out and going into the frame here, they now go into the headset, which looks really clean, but at the same time is a nightmare to work on. I know when I was putting this whole new group set on, it was a mission for myself. This is really cool about this bike, is it looks really clean and it looks very racy, especially this all blacked out one. I know you can make it really cool if you had some deeper rims on there and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the biggest thing I'd say with these bikes, is they're really upgradable. And the biggest one would definitely be the tires and wheels. I'd say if you do want to make performance upgrades to these bikes, definitely looking at those two, running a lighter carbon wheel or more aero carbon wheel, and also a lighter racing tire. If you can and your budget stretches, I'd say get this bike as the AL5 version with the 105 12-speed group set. That would be perfect. You don't really need much more than that. If you want to go electric, like I said earlier, SRAM is your way, and then you can choose to go one by and then run a mountain bike cassette. So that's a good thing with SRAM, you can chop and change. And also you could run a wireless dropper post in here. There's no way of routing one because there's no like holes for it to come up and go into. So you'd have to run only a wireless dropper post in here, which would be pretty cool to see, especially if you're really into gravel riding. And that's the good thing with it being an aluminium bike. You can really tear it up on the gravel trails if you wanted to. Run, I definitely think you can get a 40 tire in there, running a one by with a mountain bike setup. I think that'd be awesome. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this Domane AL build. Have you thought about buying a Domane AL version? And if so, which ones are you looking at getting? And also, what changes would you make to your Domane AL if you're riding one right now? But yeah, that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as it helps a lot and I appreciate it so much. Hope you're all staying safe, staying positive, having fun, and I shall see you in the next one.